Night of the Living podcast is always ad-free for patrons at patreon.com/NOTLP.
Rinna.
Lisa.
Did you say Rinna?
Rinna.
Lisa.
Is it pronounced Rinna or Renna?
Rinna.
Welcome to Night of the Living podcast.
It's an I.
It's an I.
These monkeys over here trying to figure this shit out.
Rinna.
Or Freddy.
That's me.
Andy.
Hey.
And I'm the one over here going, guys, I watched her for how many seasons on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills?
How do you say it?
Rinna.
Rinna. Like dinner. So, like dinner's done.
Dinner.
Lisa,
How
come
come
get your dinner.
How come she never opened a restaurant?
You know, you'll
Dinner
have to
with
ask her
Rinna?
that.
Rinna's dinner.
One thing I do know about Lisa Rinna is that she will never pass up an opportunity for money. So if you have a good restaurant idea, I'm sure she's in.
Didn't you tell me like it's even suspect that whether she uses those diapers or not?
I think it was always suspect. I think she did that for money.
She's just trotting out there like she's using diapers when she in fact is not using diapers.
Is she a spokesman for Depends or something?
She had been back in the late 90s.
She's part of that, like they're like, let's make them sexy.
Yeah, when it was like you can wear a gown.
Were they like slim fit?
Yes.
Depends?
Yeah, and they were different colors.
You could wear a very form-fitting gown
Yeah.
on the red carpet and nobody would know that you're shitting your pants.
You know, it's rarely poop.
So anyway, welcome to the show.
So she could sit at an award show the whole time.
I mean,
Diaper
think
full of
about
poop,
it.
if she wanted to.
It's a long time.
We shouldn't make fun of people with
Yeah.
those type
Think
of
about it.
disabilities.
I'm not making. I would
the
never
idea
make fun
of it,
that.
the idea of it is funny.
The idea of Lisa
reality of
Rinna
it.
co-opting it is funny to me. The idea that this disability does exist.
Woman likes money and attention.
And she's like, I would totally crap my pants for what? How much?
Oops, I crap my pants.
She's
Hey, I would too.
yeah. I mean, honestly,
I
here's
have
the
no
thing.
shame. I would endorse anything.
Oh, yeah.
The media and commercials and all that stuff is all. That's not reality. What if in that reality she's carrying loads around with her all the time? Nobody. It doesn't matter. It's not real.
I still know what the point of having a spokesman for adult diapers is. It's
It's
not
to humanize.
It may
it's
have
just
been like a special,
relatable.
maybe not a Super Bowl commercial, but maybe a Super Bowl commercial, something on that level.
I mean, I like the idea.
Maybe.
You want to have a relatable person for something that's
But
to be like kind of
hypothetically, if
like
I was
that.
in the incontinence aisle,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what kind of adult diapers does Lisa Rinna wear?
Yeah.
Am I going to reach for that?
Do you,
item?
I think it's more about people seeing Lisa Rinna say,
would.
I'm wearing these, and then they're like, okay, I feel okay about having to wear them now because Lisa Rinna wears them.
If you needed something to wear under your cocktail dress for the party you're going to.
But don't believe the hype, because just because Lisa Rinna wears this particular brand of adult
That doesn't
diaper
mean-
and you buy it, doesn't mean that you can slam dunk. That's Jordan's. The same thing applies here.
Well, isn't that fantastic? So the reason we're talking about Lisa Rinna is because she is the housewife star of today's movie, Robot Wars, which I have, in fact, seen twice now.
That's amazing. You know, I felt like I had to watch it a second time myself, but didn't. And I was like, instead, I'm just going to go online and see if I could maybe polish up the bits that didn't make sense. And it made it worse. Like, I'm more confused.
I feel like it made sense. It was a
It
pretty,
made sense.
pretty
It was
easy
real
movie.
stupid, but it made
didn't.
sense.
I guess because everybody's motives maybe were just so kind of lackluster.
We'll get there, I guess.
Now, did anybody was able? It's listed as like a sequel to Robot Jocks,
It's definitely a sequel to something.
but they never mention Robot Jocks.
Jocks as an athlete
Yeah.
and not the underwear.
Yeah, all the same.
We
Big jockeys, big underwear for big robot jocks.
There's a vague references to something that had happened before.
During the stinking?
During the stinking.
Or what was it called again? The toxic,
the toxic
gas
scare or whatever. So I think that was maybe the previously. Now we're in the future. Now we're in 2041.
You can tell because everything's purple now.
Yeah, and everything's robots.
Everything's purple and like gray.
And robots.
It's
Are we jumping right into the review?
No,
I feel like
we're stopping,
I
Freddy.
feel like we're blowing our robot load.
Freddie Morris.
Oh, sorry. I got excited about the movie.
Sit down, sir.
Yeah.
We have other things to talk about, like I don't know. Anybody seen anything fun lately?
Yeah, robot jocks. I mean, Robot Wars.
No, I was involved in unfortunately, I was involved in a car accident recently.
Oh, really?
It was a hit and run.
Are you being for real?
No, I was really like.
Oh, okay. I was waiting for the
Wait,
punchline
what?
because you were looking like you were about to tell a joke. What?
No,
what happened?
I was walking and some kid came up behind me and ran me over with a 4-wheeler.
Are you fucking kidding me?
But it's like one of those tiny 4-wheelers.
So what?
When you
And we're saying kid, what are we talking about?
So, well, I was at the Witten was doing a run.
Oh my fucking
I was taking a break. I was doing a walk between runs, and some kid just runs up behind me.
Oh my god!
And then he falls off his 4-wheeler.
Good.
What is that called? What are those little ones called?
Well, if you're talking like a power wheel,
Power wheel.
it was not like a 4-wheeler.
No,
like
no,
it
no,
used to be.
Okay.
Oh
like
my God, Andy,
you look whole.
look fine. And like with you,
So-
I was worried that
like,
you were seriously injured.
I couldn't think of the word for power wheel, and I think it was a 4-wheeler.
Like
You
a
scared
kid,
the fuck
Yeah.
out of me, man.
a kid vroom vroom, but
Yeah.
just like a big wheel thing or
Yeah.
whatever. Not a big
that
wheel,
still
but-
hurts.
And then
Yeah.
he ran over
Fuck
me,
yeah.
and then I ran. So technically, it was a hit and run.
You just ran away.
Why was it in the middle of my run? I couldn't.
Were you okay?
I was fine.
Did you get a scrape?
I do have a bruise on my hip, though.
Did he say anything?
He did apologize.
I want to get
Like profusely?
an old country candy
but, like,
store.
he-
He can tell those stories to the
God,
kids that come
Andy.
in.
Like he was 5 or something. I'm not going to like make him
Citizens
grovel.
arrest!
You're right, I guess.
Someone stop that child!
But like,
At least he didn't just like stare at you and then run away.
Well, I didn't
Like,
want
he
to
said, "I'm sorry."
like.
There you go, I saw it.
Well, it's in that situation. It's like kind of shocking too.
Yeah.
Nobody expects to be hit by a kid
No.
on a power wheel.
Was he like, I sorry? And you're like, you better be fucking sorry. He's like, oh, I'm really sorry.
I felt bad because he like fell off his power wheel.
Yeah, did you
And
shove
then-
him though?
And then like I just said, he said sorry. I was like, it's okay. Then I just started running again.
Yeah.
You're like,
So-
I just don't want to
He
talk to this guy.
fell off,
And then
Andy.
he was like, wait, we need to exchange information.
here's my insulin, sorry.
What's crazy to me is that he didn't tear the fuck up of your ankles. Tear the fuck up.
No, I mean,
Your
I
ankles.
think
That's dramatic.
I'm trying to figure out this sentence I'm using here.
it was like, it hurt, but he did hit me with the wheel part.
Okay.
I think
Jesus
they're
Christ.
safer nowadays. I think they have bigger bumpers and bigger.
As they
No,
should.
wait, you say this like you've been hit by other Power Wheels.
As a kid, yeah, I've been.
You've
running.
been struck by Power Wheels before.
Yeah, like my neighbor had when I was a kid, and like a lot of kids got run over by that.
I don't remember being run over.
I don't
by
think I've
Power
ever
Wheels.
been run over by.
Like when you say run over, is it like complete over, like
Yeah.
smash your head like a melon?
Well, like we're dumb kids too, and sometimes we would lay down the street and have our friend run over us to see if it would hurt.
And then one day someone did it with a station wagon. That stopped.
Andy, again, how are you still alive? Your childhood was insanely violent.
I'm sure that I'm not the only kid that I ran over by a power wheel as a child.
If you're listening,
I might have let like my friend jump a bike over me.
oh, we did that too.
Yeah.
I cut my friend James' thumb off by accident. doing
Oh.
bicycle
How much
stuff.
of it? How much of the thumb?
Just the last digit. Or digit?
At
Is
the
that
knuckle,
Or
you
the
mean?
last knuckle. Yeah, the last joint. That's what I meant to say. The last joint popped off. We ran into each other head on our bicycles going in and out of this very driveway of the house I live in today.
Tonight.
Just tonight. Tonight only. I sleep here, mere feet from where I cut James's thumb off, and I'd do it again.
You think it's still there?
No, they got reattached
Did
it.
they?
The
I think
thumb.
So, you know James Cruz?
I know the name, but did you guys put in milk?
You know what?
Or is
I
that
don't
just-
remember what
Is
happened.
that just for teeth?
I don't know.
Anything cold like that's good. Milk's good. Milk's delicious.
It's been pasteurized,
and it's
so it
full
should
of
be.
calcium. It's good for bones.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if you get breakfast cereal that was mostly thumbs?
Wow. Okay.
Oops, all thumbs.
Or all thumbs for that matter, yeah. Even worse.
Wonderful. Andy, I'm so glad you're alive.
Me too, man.
I'm glad I'm alive too.
Yeah.
That kid,
Was he drinking?
did he look scared?
It was a high C.
Yeah.
If he looked scared, he said he was sorry, then that's
Yeah.
all I need from a 5-year-old.
He was watching Bluey on a mobile device.
For all I
while he's
know, it
driving.
could have been on purpose. Like kids nowadays.
Asshole.
And like, oops. And like they take advantage of their innocence and youth to get away with things. So it's like
The 5-year-olds, though, like the roving band of teens is what I'm afraid of.
The rabid teens.
I could take a 5-year-old.
And next door, was it? They described the
next door
large
post
teens.
from the neighborhood was the large teens, meaning just a large group of teens, but then also that they were running rampid, RAMPID.
Yeah, like damp red.
Yeah.
But we interpret it as large teens as opposed to a large group of teens.
Huge
Oh my
teens.
God, that teen! Look at it. That's the biggest teen I've ever seen.
Like I wouldn't think it like friendly giants or something.
Yeah.
Like BFG size.
How are you? I'm 15. And I'm 8 feet tall.
And
And I'm mad.
I feel that would be a problem.
It would
Oh
be.
my God.
They
could you
keep tearing
imagine?
the roofs off of our houses looking for Hercules.
That's wonderful.
So they're just walking up and down Corian Avenue. We can
Just
have
popping roofs off.
That's what we like here
our
at
thatch,
NOTLP.
our thatch roofs on Corian Avenue.
They're like, where's Hercules? I'm like, you got the wrong house, you giant teen. Leave me and my family alone. We've been through enough.
I love it in like TV and cartoons where like you just the roofs are on hinges basically.
Yeah.
You just lift it up
So
and,
easy.
and peek in, and then put it down, and
Nobody
it
thought to
goes back
nail that
normal.
shut, you know?
Yeah. You wonder what would happen if someone tried to peel your roof off. I mean, here it would just crumble and crack and all the. I started to say pastry. I meant plaster.
I think some like roofing, plumbing would be fucked up too.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we don't have any.
There's
in our
like
the
roof.
electrical and everything.
A gas pipe up there?
There's gas up there,
Yeah.
so we'd probably explode,
Yeah.
or there'd be a fire gout. Those are cool.
I mean, can you reattach a roof?
If you put it in milk,
Yeah.
but who's gonna find a glass of milk that big? You, Andy?
You ever think
You,
about
Amy?
that? But you didn't.
Get on that, businesses. We need giant glasses of milk just in case.
That's
For
great.
tornadoes safety.
That is absolutely great.
Thanks, State Farm.
Freddie and I recently started, like months late, the latest True Detective season, Night Country with Jodie
So did
Foster.
I started it
Did you?
the first when it came out, like the first couple episodes, and I got distracted and didn't finish it.
I say go back. We're like 4
Eerie,
in.
man.
Well, the
It's
first
real eerie.
episode, like, most first episodes of all series, they're kind of a
They're
chore to
bringing
get
it
through.
hard, you know?
So it's like it didn't necessarily get my attention right away, but I do want to finish it.
There is some things that made me kind of giggle, like I hate the Beatles. Like there's
Character choices.
some things they did just to kind
Yeah,
of
there are some things I feel like they're leaning to forcing the spooky.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
But there is some
But
real
it's worth
fucked
it
up
for me.
spooky stuff.
I would rather them try like that Beatles thing, which I'm sure is going to pay off in some way because they've brought it up a couple of times, how she hates the Beatles, and which is probably just a trigger of something to some event from earlier.
Didn't you? You don't remember because they did show it.
Did they finally show it? I figured they probably were going to.
Freddie,
You
you
guys-
were in the room with me.
You know, well, here's the thing.
We watched this.
So you guys finished it?
No, not yet. We're 4 ups in.
I was too horrified by the mass of bodies. in
We're
that
working
show.
our way through that.
So
Feeling
I
pretty
do
good.
like it. It does feel as X-Filesy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It reminds me of well, besides it's obvious that it would remind you of The Thing, but
Obvi.
even beyond the setting, like that the reveal of the Exhibit A, I guess you call it, whatever, the remains. Oof.
Right?
That thing was pretty fucking. Did you get that far, Andy? Did you
Very
see that?
gnarly.
It's been so long.
Don't worry about it.
Here's the thing about
Yeah.
me. Like, I watched it, but I don't necessarily remember things.
I do that too.
Yeah.
Wait, when you hear we talk about Robot
Yeah.
Wars, shit. That might as well not exist.
And plus, I watched it maybe like month and a half ago. Ago.
Yeah, it came out a while.
So
ago.
like the way I watch things now, I have to watch one a day, and then can't binge them anymore because it's just too much.
You'll lose detail, really?
But if
I'm
I
like
take
the
a
other
break,
way.
I probably need to start over at this point.
Right.
I want to take the sound from True Detective season 2 and the video from True Detective season 3.
Did you guys watch 3? I didn't watch 3 because 2 was so bad.
We didn't finish 2. But where we were discussing, season 1 is very Lovecraft. This season is very Stephen King. I stand by it.
Yeah.
And I'll fight anybody who disagrees with me.
I do like the discourse around it because especially season 4. I feel like the True Detective bros came out and hard for this.
Oh, really?
Because it's a lady
directed
focused.
and lady focused.
I am so out of touch with what's going on, like in people discussing these shows that like I have no idea. I know it's positively, it's been getting positive.
Do
reviews.
you suffer from not knowing the discourse, or are you truly healing because you don't know the discourse?
It's a mixed bag.
I don't know.
I feel isolated.
Sometimes the discourse is so fucking stupid that I can't believe we're even having this conversation.
But sometimes I like to just know it because it connects me to the rest of the world.
True.
But then I'm like,
It'll disappoint you.
Then yes, exactly that. Because I'll poke my head out and be like, I wonder what they're saying about True Detective, and then the first word that's thrown out is like stupid.
Well, I don't actively seek out the discourse, but like sometimes I would run across somebody's posts about this, and then I kind of get drawn in because I'm curious.
Yeah.
Which curiosity is bad sometimes. But then you get the rabbit hole of what people are saying, and it turns out the guy from season 1, Nick.
Yeah, he's a dick.
What's his name?
Nick is a dick.
Yeah.
Pizzolatto or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
He
the guy
was
who
kind
wrote
of
the
like.
He lost his mind a little.
Yeah. And it's very, like I said, bro-y and film bros and TV bros. Man, shut the fuck up.
Shut up. Sit down.
Film bros and TV bros.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of bros.
Sit down and enjoy things.
Do they have a bro for every
I
situation?
think so.
Yeah.
Bros ruin everything.
Find the thing that you enjoy and enjoy that thing. I've got like one episode of Newhart left that I'm holding on to tight. I haven't even done it yet.
This is the weird season of
Is it
Newhart.
he says the last season?
It's the last season. And now they're going to completely negate everything I've watched.
Well, most of the last seasons are pretty bad, aren't they?
8
Well,
seasons.
not always, but most shows wear out their welcome, in my opinion, except for something like Cheers.
It's like I've never watched Newhart, but he said the 8 seasons.
Yeah.
I feel that's the shelf life of. That's when it starts to expire.
Well, the thing is, 7. If they had ended on
7 is
7,
heaven,
it
baby.
was good. 8, and it's still fun.
8?
It's just not Newhart.
It's great.
They do
But-
weird experimental stuff.
Yeah. Don't do weird stuff.
It's probably because they knew it was ending, so they knew
Yeah.
that they could do these weird things.
They went crazy.
Yeah, it didn't matter. Yeah, I kind of respect that too.
It is. If you just check your watch real quick, it is 2024. We are talking about Newhart. It's just kind of a thing.
Timeless.
I like to go back and watch old TV. I want to keep it alive in a way.
And
I don't know.
Newhart's a timeless
It's
classic.
gentle.
It's for everybody, for all ages.
Nice. It's on the Amazon Prime. But also, I am watching True Detective, so I'm hip and cool. Also, thank you
And
very much.
I watched it partially because of the director. She did.
Lisa Lopez.
Yeah, Tigers Are Not Afraid.
Oh, that's the same director that did the True Detective? Huh.
Okay.
It's just interesting.
Is it?
Well, to me, they're so different.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
That's all.
I feel like there's a common thread. Like is super dark.
I mean, thematically, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they look so different,
Yeah.
the two series. I mean, movie and series. It's hard to talk about shit anymore, isn't it? Because everything's a movie and everything's a series.
Everything's a movie. Everything's a series.
Yeah.
That's also fart, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's
That's definitely a dog fart floating on through.
It's breathtaking.
It is in every way, shape, and form.
Did it literally take your breath away?
It smells like springtime condensed, like in the air, like
What?
dirt and fresh grass.
But that's a good thing, though.
a lot of shit. but also a lot
But
of
then,
shit.
oh, you mean like all of the shit she is going to take over the entirety of springtime?
I'm just saying it's
Is what you're smelling right now?
No, it's just an organic and kind of layered
Is it
scent.
meaty?
It's earthy,
Okay.
isn't it?
Yes.
You ever just like, you might as well, you gotta sit in this fart when you're doing the show and they fart in
you
here.
just do.
Because you're not going to pause and
No.
So
leave.
let's like really dissect it.
It's
So, why are we
coming,
trying to
it's
experience
slowly
it?
coming my way right
What
now.
are the notes?
Yeah, you get it?
It's
everybody.
the toxic gas
I
scare
don't want
of
to anymore.
2024.
It's the toxic gas
1993.
There it is.
All right.
But I get a lot of dirt and then grass,
No,
No, I don't want to keep talking about
like
it.
a
if we could.
fried egg,
I just smell doo-doo.
and piss.
No, I don't get any grassy notes at all.
Oh,
That's
they're there.
wonderful.
Maybe you're on
You
the
know,
finish.
this is why we're here on this earth.
Is that the top note?
This is why the good Lord made a podcasting affordable. So we could give you this, okay? And you love it. You love every minute of it.
She is cute though.
The dog?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's okay.
Yeah. She's all curled up over there, just farting away.
Andy, I'm glad you're alive. Freddy, I hope the fart passes you by soon. As for myself, I'm just excited to tell you about patreon.com/NOTLP.
I hope you never lose your sense of wonder.
That too. Over there at the Patreon, we put some bonus stuff up there, and you get merch and stuff like that. But we skipped Tropicana this week. It was just a rough one. 'Twas a chemo week for me madre. Why am I talking like that?
Because it's an uncomfortable topic, cancer.
And then you get tired, and so then
Then
I know
people,
I didn't have chemo, but I'm just tired.
People do voices when they're talking about
I don't
uncomfortable
have
topics.
time.
They're like, she had chemo today, matey.
You got the cancer. She's good though. She went fishing today. It's just living her best life.
Like fishing?
Fishing.
Like
I mean,
with actual poles?
with a 4-year-old. So like a
For bait.
kid-sized pole.
I thought she was just fishing for compliments.
That too. She's looking good.
Posting out these thought traps.
Yep. And getting me kicked out of a casino. But that's a story for another day.
Did you tell that story?
I'm not telling that story.
Oh, okay.
That was a special story for special people. I'll fill you in
I got
later.
you. At the
Andy.
meetup.
Yep.
Yeah.
Meetups are something you can do with us if you're a patron. We do it on our Discord, and then you have access to that.
I call it my social life.
And then Tropicana, and then you're gonna have a new Origins here this week. So guys, we're trying, we're doing, we're moving, we're grooving.
Do you think they heard that snore? The big
No,
dog snore?
you will. Nobody hears any.
Never
sound
can hear that big sound. A big
the dog
snore.
makes because we have excellent
Yeah, microphones.
microphones.
You know what though? The whole room shook.
All
There's
right,
Another one.
we'll be right back.
Turn out lights, it's the main attraction.
Like a porcupine and a fisted factory full of fists and little cat's tails. That's what it felt like.
Do you know what he's talking about?
No, not at all.
Okay, good.
I heard cat's tails, and so I didn't know the context of it at all.
Puppy dog snails. All right, so here's the deal. Freddie picked this movie.
Just because Lisa Rinna
Is in
Okay.
it.
stubbed my foot.
Before we jump in, like, how is Lisa Rinna as a housewife?
Well, she was fired a couple seasons back. She'll tell you she was put on, like she was like paused. But that's not true. Her mom passed away, and that season was a mess for her, and she just was not okay.
She's like acted out.
She needed a moment. She really did. But I loved her. She was a mess and a half.
Like leading up to it, how was she?
Messy. I loved it. Just really just stirred shit. Like not nice sometimes either. She was one of the leading housewives with using cannabis on air.
Like stirring shit just to stir shit.
Yeah, kinda.
She's one of those.
She's one of those.
Yeah.
But fun to watch.
A fuse lighter.
Is it? Didn't she have a thing where at a dinner she threw some wine on somebody?
Oh yes, that
Or-
was the
or
infamous.
something.
Was that? Were they in
Is that what she
Amsterdam? Where were they? Berlin, Amsterdam. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Yes, it was a fight between her and Kim Richards. And that was the
Escape
whole
from Witch Mountain.
You don't want to talk. Oh, you don't want to talk about the husbands. That's that conversation.
Somebody brought up Harry Hamlin.
They said, my Hamlin's hairier than yours. And she was like, well, y'all coming at you. And she came at him with claws swinging.
So Robot Wars was from 1993, which was a few years before they got married. So I wonder if they even knew each other.
And this
now.
was,
Probably not.
Her original face.
When you think about it, they both had stop motion movies under their belt.
Oh, he had Clash of the Titans.
Yeah. And she did this.
And we also covered that too.
We did, and I love Clash of the Titans.
Yeah.
Was Harryhausen involved in this anyway?
God, I hope not. This is a full moon picture.
Albert Band, who was the patriarch of the bands.
He was Papa Band.
Papa Band.
And I also have to say that maybe we didn't give this movie a fair shot because I watched the MS3TK one.
Yeah, so did we.
Yeah. But
fun.
then I watched it plain
did you?
Jane.
Okay.
Oh, the
today.
second time you watched it plain.
Yes.
Was there any difference?
Well, I'm glad you gave the movie a fair shot.
I learned that's where I got more of the flavor of it being a sequel and more of the kind of wheeling and dealing and kind of anyway, we'll talk.
Was the MST3K version cut down?
It had to be.
I don't think so.
Well, it was,
maybe.
They were both billed as 1 hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So,
so with sketches and
they
stuff,
had to cut some of it out.
Oh, well. Nothing substantive that I can remember.
Yeah.
Honestly. It's not like this movie is
I was
dense.
charmed by this movie.
I was a little too.
I had a good time with it.
No, I honestly had a good time with this movie because coming from Money Plane,
Oh yeah.
where they didn't give a shit.
Yeah. They clearly cared.
You can obviously see the effort.
Barbara Crampton gives.
And everybody kind of
yeah.
it was committed,
Yeah.
especially her. But she's
Yeah.
she's a professional.
She really
That's what I love
is.
about her. But you can tell that they put some thought and care in this movie, such a big 180 from Money Plane.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, also way more fun and colorful.
Yeah.
Like they had maybe not that much more as far as resources, but they did a lot more with it, and they did it in a charming way where they're like, "Fuck it, just put bicycle helmets on them. It's fine."
Yeah, just paint some bicycle helmets. It's the future.
The only problem I have with this movie is that at any moment you could stop the movie, you could pause it and look at me and say, "Tell me what's happening," and I would be like, "I do not know."
Would you like to know a quick rundown of what happened?
Yes.
Okay.
The stink wars happened first.
So the toxic gas scare of 93, I guess, like ended America as we know it,
Yeah.
or
This was like a post-apocalyptic time, right?
sort of. It's post-apocalyptic. It's the future. So it's 2041, and something happened in 1993 that caused the southwest of the northern hemisphere to no longer be a part of the United States, or I don't know what happened to it.
But they're in like this desert area.
They're at a tourist attraction to see what life was like
Oh, was that it? Because
in the Southwest in 1993. This is
thought
what a
they
town
were-
would look like.
It was very Trekkie at that point.
Yeah.
okay, it's like a recreation of a America town or something.
It's like
right?
going to fucking Williamsburg.
Yeah.
But except to get to Williamsburg, they put you in a giant robot that takes you there.
a scorpion robot.
Yes.
It was very inconvenient and unnecessary. I feel.
Yeah.
Didn't it feel like Star Tours to you? Like
Yeah.
when they all got
That's
loaded
funny.
in?
Like the whole thing seemed very Epcot to me.
Yeah.
Down to like the
Yeah.
costumes they were wearing. They looked like cast member costumes from Disney.
Definitely.
And even the sets looked like a queue to a ride.
Yeah.
And it looked like a pre-show.
Well, isn't that kind
It's
of
like
what
a-
happens to them? Is the same thing on Star
Yeah.
Tours where you get hijacked,
Basically.
and that's what happens in this movie.
Yeah.
But they built it was like a real hijacking.
Yeah.
No, it was like a test, but they didn't.
No, in the beginning.
They didn't tell the people.
This is
test.
what
Barbara
makes it
Crampton's
confusing.
on her way. See, Barbara Crampton, she's a scientist, and the way you know that
Yeah.
is because she's in the giant robot bus. It's like a bus that takes people places, and she's sitting in her seat
Public
inside of
transit
it
for Robot
with
Town.
her fucking bicycle helmet on. Anyway, she's got beakers
so-
in her hand,
yeah.
or test tubes, and she's pouring something from one test tube into the other, and that's how you know she's a scientist. And she
She's like an
wants to-
arbor. Isn't she like a plant expert?
Doesn't matter. She's going to test.
It's very efficient storytelling because
Yeah.
beakers and glass represent
Test
science.
tubes. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
Smart
God.
lady.
They could just put glasses on her.
No.
Save some money on beakers. And she could have just put her glasses on and be like,
Yeah.
I am a scientist.
And a clipboard.
Remember that classic old twist? You just give somebody glasses and a clipboard and they're a sicentist?
She has asked her friend to meet her there, Lisa Rinna, who's
He's a journalist.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're gonna. Barbara Crampton's sure something's up underneath this Crystal Vista, which is the name of this tourist town. This like perfectly preserved Southwest tourist
That's
town.
where I was confused about the story because
Yeah.
I didn't know it was like a tourist attraction.
Yes.
I thought they were just visiting the town for some reason.
It was confusing. And then, like,
No,
It
I
was
think
a
the
little muddy.
MSD3K either cut out too much
Maybe they
or they
did.
talked over
Yeah.
key points.
yeah, I think they did.
Which sometimes that happens. Usually they're pretty good about that. But it really does not matter, you guys. Your life will remain the same,
Yeah.
if not better.
kind of
for
like a
not knowing any
Jaws
of this.
3 situation where it's like everything's fine until they're like, you're in the shit with us now.
But see, these robots that take you back and forth are also fighting robots. So sometimes while you're riding on it as a passenger, it might get into a fight with the Centros,
So here's a question too.
who are the enemy.
It's not that it just decides to fight, right? It's controlled by a robot fighter guy,
Drake.
Drake.
That's his name. That's our guy. That's our fucking arrogant motherfucker that
hero.
gets the girl.
They were going for a Han Solo type character.
They
this-
swung way too
this
hard.
Charming rapscallion.
He comes off his HR video
but
instead.
he came a little too hard.
He,
Yeah.
sir, that's an HR violation
Yeah.
all day, every day.
And then he has like a sidekick named Squidgy or something.
Stumpy.
Stumpy. That's right. Stumpy. And Stumpy is a character actor. I think if I could show you his face, you'd be like, I know that face. And I'd be like, well, I'll give it back.
He's
to
a
you.
He's the Lowell.
He's a classic sidekick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Lowell from Wings. Like literally, he's
Yeah.
a mechanic for these giant robots.
Comic relief, kind of.
And see, Drake, all he wants to do is just take his robot back and forth with people in it. And then the Centros, they're attacking, and he's like, they keep attacking. They're getting closer, man. And then his boss, who's just in the ugliest thing,
Oh, his
the
uniform.
jacket, turtleneck.
He has like
Woo!
it's like a tongue
Fabric.
of qualifications that is just draped down the middle of his chest, and it just kind of terminates between his nipples, and it's
awful.
It's just a bunch of
like
badges, like for sewing.
It's like it's
surfing.
future of the past wear, and I love that.
It's fun.
Like people's idea of what everybody's going to wear in the future.
Right.
What Space Force almost was, probably.
It's Babylon 5. It's 100% the same look.
Yes.
The same mauves.
Yeah.
Give up mauve, y'all.
It felt
What was
so much
happening?
like Babylon 5.
They love their mauve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the uniform also kind of looked like if some guy like just laid down and rolled through an entire bin of those Disney collectible pins from the parks.
We're talking about his boss now, right? And this
The one who's highly decorated,
yeah,
literally.
like the silver
Wally.
outfit. Is that what we're talking about now? Or
Was his name Wally?
The villain guy in the end.
No, the boss who came with the tongue of qualifications.
Oh, yeah.
the white hair guy?
The white hair guy.
And all the buttons.
What about him?
He was kind of like Peter Graves.
Yes, he was Peter Graves.
He was a Peter Gravy.
Peter Graves.
What a delicious man.
Ew, actually, when you think about Peter being a substitute for like a penis and the gravy, that's
I
gross.
get it.
Because you don't want it.
Talking about cum, aren't you?
I don't know. No,
Yeah.
I was thinking of just, but that's better. But no. Sweater puppies. Stumpy is the kind of like sidekick guy that refers to women's breasts as sweater puppies.
Did he say that in the
And it's
movie?
the future. Yeah.
He did. He said that sweater puppies on that one.
Talking
Eating Barbara
Talking
Crampton.
about Barbie Cramps.
Yeah.
Because Drake, his partner, his sidekick, Stumpy's sidekick, even though he's our main douchebag,
They had like a thing
is like,
in the past, right?
no.
Oh, okay.
No.
Really?
Drake sees Barbara Crampton and is like, "Hey Stumpy, I'm gonna impregnate her. Hold on, real quick."
I just, for some reason, I got the idea that they knew
No.
each other and had
He was
a
just
good
ready.
relationship.
He wanted.
So he came that aggressive for her.
yes, as a perfect stranger.
Did we get 2 Karate Kid Part 2? We did.
What?
We had 2 cast members from Karate Kid Part 2 in this. Chosen, the villain, basically the rival for Daniel San's affections.
Oh yeah.
And Sato, his guy, his pappy friend, dad, uncle, whoever.
Who's pappy friend,
Remember,
dad, uncle?
remember Karate Kid Part 2?
Okay.
Mr. Miyagi returns to Okinawa.
Yeah.
And Daniel-san comes along, and then he meets Sato and the young dude. They're both in this, too.
Is Sato the
older
Miyagi's
guy.
villain?
Yes, Miyagi's like
foe.
his guy. Yeah, his other boyfriend. I don't know. It seems like the fight of the boyfriends.
No, they had
in
like,
that one.
It was like 2 generations of villains.
Boyfriend fighting.
Yeah.
Aww.
It was 2 generations of town-endorsed boyfriend fights.
So like, it was both of them, right? As in
Yeah.
the movie, like,
and they're both in this as
okay.
robot jocks. Yeah, that's kind of neat.
Is your understanding that Drake works for Peter Graves, but not Peter Graves, for a corporation called North Hemi?
You know, you paid more attention.
yeah.
So does
I got the idea
the United
that-
States exist anymore? Or is it all a corporation,
And they call it Hemi
or
for
do they just
hemisphere?
run the
I think they
robots?
just run the robots. That's what the idea I got. And they were also arms manufacturers,
Right.
and that's how
Yeah.
Drake got into their business because he's a retired fighter,
Yeah.
or something. And
Yeah, like
was-
he's kind of like a consultant
Yeah.
/ kind of performer too.
like, and
right?
he is qualified to run these Scorpion robot
Yeah.
vehicles because he knows how to work the weapons.
Also how to show it off for like investors. Maybe is that kind of the vibe you got too? That he was like, let's get the hotshot
Well,
pilot
so
and show
the
off
guys
the new
from
gear.
the Eastern Alliance are there. Wally and his henchmen. I don't remember his name, and they're so blatantly going to double cross everyone
These
and are there.
the Japanese guys, right?
Yeah, and Wally's who I was talking about. That's
Yeah,
Danny
Eastern Alliance.
Kamakona.
And they are so obviously like trying to get information because they're going to double cross them. It's like he's wearing "I'm gonna double cross you" on his head.
Yes, he's
His
giddy with it.
forehead. He's giddy with it. Yes.
He says, "Peekaboo, I kill you." That's one of Wally's lines, and he also goes, "Wow."
Man, this movie has some really good fucking quotes. And by really good, I mean terrible. But so fun.
Well, and everybody in this cast delivered them with such aplomb. No, seriously,
Nobody
everybody-
was
Yeah.
playing like, eh.
like
everyone's
like
like,
I said, like
yeah.
Money Plane. Everybody was sleepwalking through that movie.
Yeah.
But this one, like I said, everybody cared.
Yeah.
I'm not
Appreciate
saying
it.
that all the performances were good, especially Drake.
Yeah.
He was
That guy.
he was supposed to be this charming hero, but he was just an asshole.
He also kind of felt like a guy like in a furnace repair ad, but who's like, "I can save you $20 this month. What would you say? What would you say if I showed up at your door today and I said I'm gonna clean that furnace?"
Oh,
I'd say, sir.
is that like euphemism for something?
Nope. He just seems like that guy.
Back off.
But even though his performance was not great, he was very committed to it.
Oh, yeah. Nobody gave me sleepwalking vibes. Everybody was in.
Even Lisa Rinna, the scrappy reporter, she was good.
Adorable.
She's great.
As a horn-
she was just striking as
She's
hell
a
in
horn
this.
dog.
Horn dog.
All she,
Oh,
wanted to
she
do
was ready to go.
She,
She was
wanted to
like,
fuck everybody in sight.
Oh,
girl,
yeah.
if you're not going to take Drake, I will. Stumpy, what are you doing right now? Hey, you.
I need to watch this again now with hornier eyes.
So when they're walking around Crystal Vista and kind of just pretending to be tourists, they pass by the old movie theater, and up on the marquee it says Puppet Master 54.
Because they're gonna last
This
forever.
is the full movie, remember? They're gonna last forever.
That doesn't make sense to the, because this is 40 something,
2041, I believe.
2041, and
But
What
nobody's
is-
been in this town.
but what is 41 minus 93? When did the first Puppet Master come out?
Are you really doing this?
Yes,
Do you
it
want
was like
to?
80 something, right?
You try. You
Andy,
try
I
to figure
don't
out.
know. You
You said roughly one puppet
I'm gonna
master
say
per year.
87.
Okay.
So 54 plus 80.
90s?
Maybe that does work out.
It's about right.
But
I'm sure they did them.
They don't have to do one a year though. They could have done two a year.
that's what I'm thinking one a year.
They could have one every
but
other year. Remember that year we didn't get a puppet master?
That's an awful year.
You just need there to be 13 years, so it would have needed to be 87. Yeah.
So like in this timeline, in this, there is literally one puppet master a year, or sometimes multiple, because tragic. Did they produce these movies during the great
Toxic Gas Scare in 1993? Yeah. I don't know if they took a pause.
And is there ever a puppet amateur or a puppet apprentice movie?
Puppet Journeymans.
There's a prequels.
There's a prequels, or just like Toulon's Revenge.
There's no count during counting up to 54.
We don't get to see as a shitty puppeteer. Yeah. Like, I just want to know.
Retro puppet
don't you want that gritty,
that?
Shitty puppeteer prequel where he can't move them right? And he goes to do school stuff, and they're like, keep these kids off drugs as best you can with Pinhead and old Daggerface over here.
We did have a movie where we discovered Toulon's backstory.
There was, you're talking about the one David Ducotto did?
Is that the one with the Nazis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3.
So we know what happened.
God. I think
surprisingly the best of them.
And I could be wrong, but to me, Puppet Master, when we sit and talk about it, and I haven't done any research into this, but Puppet Master feels like a comic book series with too many variants.
Yeah, and it makes you mad because you got to get them all to get the whole story.
Catch them all.
It's an interesting.
I don't even know how many variants there really are.
I see it as the same movie over and over.
Well, that could be, but
not ironic.
All right. One of my favorite lines from the movie was Peter Graves, not Peter Graves, to Drake. You're too negative. You're a walking minus sign.
Hey, drop
cute.
that minus and get yourself.
It's a little bit of a reach, but it's cute.
Minus.
What?
You need yourself a short king, girl. Jump on out.
Another good line is, have you been into the mega juice?
Oh, yeah, that was funny. Like, why is it always got to be sci-fi stuff? They're like, it can never be whiskey anymore. It's mega juice from now on. Because it's science fiction.
In this timeline, all the whiskey doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Do you know what just gets to me sometimes? The same way when on a recent Topicana I talked about how I just wish like sci-fi shows would stop. Like something I wanted them to stop doing. Here's another one. For the costumes. Why does everything have to be cut on a diagonal? Why does every neckline
Amy.
need to be cut on a diagonal with like a flap that's a different color than the rest?
That denotes future, Amy.
Oh, okay.
Trekkies. Do you remember the kid freaking out in Trekkies over the diagonal cut?
I don't remember.
It was about the uniforms not being right.
Oh.
He's the one who went on to actually, I think, work on some Star Trek shows, but he was ridiculed for, the way he appeared in Trekkies. A great documentary, regardless.
Okay.
A little inadvertently cruel.
But it happens in this movie. Babylon 5 is really bad.
It happens in every sci-fi thing because geometric shapes.
Geometric shapes.
It denotes, futures because like angles and stuff.
Or is it because it's sort of like geometry is a universal language?
So like if you put a slash on your shirt, that means I come in peace?
So like in Star Trek, that's multiple alien races together.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of communication issues.
Making weird
that
aliens.
Maybe if I wear a geometric shape on my shirt, it makes you as an alien feel, nope.
I'll wear whatever prevents a Tuvix. 3 condoms, I'll do it.
That's a very specific joke.
Andy does not get it.
And you just know that Tuvix should never have been. Mm.
Listener, if you don't know what we're talking about, type into your browser TUVIX Voyager episode.
Tuvix. He's a mess.
No, I want Andy to never know. He's not allowed. Anything else about this movie? Okay, so here's what happens. The Centros are actually working together with the Eastern Alliance to double cross the North Hemis.
See, this is the problem, right?
What was their ultimate goal?
To take them over, I guess. To take the robot.
They just wanted the robot technology?
I guess.
So you got a tourist agency. You've got a weapons manufacturer.
Yeah.
You've got 3 governments.
Yeah.
And none of them are any that we're familiar with to begin with.
No.
And I'm supposed to follow who's got the ball essentially during this story. And
but what essentially happens is that Wall-E from the Eastern Alliance, he's like, "Ha, sucks to be you," and he tries to abscond.
That was pretty great.
He tries to abscond.
He was having fun. He was having the time of his life.
He takes everybody hostage.
Yeah, that's on the robot, which includes Lisa Rinna's on there,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So like this is life and death. But Barbara Crampton is like kicking ass and taking names and just doing shit.
Yeah, and she's just like in a tracksuit the whole time, right? Just
Everybody's in a tracksuit.
With geometric
Yeah.
shapes.
It's just kind of
And
funny.
mauve.
But hers is-
Fighting in the tracksuit.
Hers is pink because she's a lady.
Yeah,
Just atrocious fabrics that don't breathe.
yeah. It's very like walk through the.
And I feel it
the
made
community.
sense, the puffiness of the costumes, because they need it for production.
Yeah.
Because
Floridian.
they're in this hostile environment.
The toxic gas. You're right.
It was just a scare, though.
But I mean, essentially,
Boo!
Toxic gas!
Drake,
Oh my God! Is it 1993?
Drake and Stumpy figure out that there's an old mega robot, like the old style robot.
The ones you really need to kick ass. It's always buried somewhere.
It's been buried under Crystal Vista this entire time.
But is that what Lisa Rinna was investigating? Because she said there's something underneath the city.
So
I didn't make that connection.
So Barbara Crampton told Lisa Rinna, she's like, "Look, I was investigating this blah blah blah, and then I looked in this manual, I looked in a picture, and there was a transponder." And isn't that weird that this was contained in this brochure for Crystal Vista? So they go and find the transponder thing. Transponder?
Transponder?
Yes. And they
Oh,
find
okay.
It's a
it.
made-up future word.
I thought I thought it was another made-up word for.
They
minute
do
there, 'cause
a
they
level
did do a lot
5
of that.
diagnostic.
Yes, they do.
And they find it.
Good Lord.
And they figure out how to talk to the robot, maybe. I watched it twice, okay?
Pacific Rim kind of did all this a lot better.
It's very Iron Giant.
Yeah. Amy,
Very.
that's weird because Iron Giant just came up again.
My mom was talking about
You
it.
said
She saw
that
it.
she really liked it a lot.
It's
Maybe we should
great.
watch it. I've only seen it once. I don't really remember it.
It's heartbreaking.
Then
Is
no,
it?
thank you.
I don't need to cry anymore, man.
So did you need to know all
Cry
that?
enough.
I feel that Lisa Rinna and the scientist thing was kind of unnecessary.
You mean
Yeah.
like
The plot line of it.
her being a scientist?
But that's-
you mean you're talking about Barbara Crampton?
Them trying to like sneak around.
Yeah.
Well, the only
What were they trying to investigate in the first place?
because Barbara Crampton thought that weapons were being stored underneath Crystal Vista because she knew something was wrong with the soil. She thought there could be
Oh,
weapons,
yeah.
and then Lisa Rinna would write the story about it. You
So
guys,
it was a big expose.
maybe the movie was too fucking
Okay.
smart.
I think it just didn't like give you any guidance.
Well, I watched
So
it twice.
the point of Barbara Crampton and Lisa Rinna's character was that they were the ones that discovered the robot.
Between them and Drake and Stumpy,
so it does make sense to me now.
they work
It's pretty
together.
good world
Yeah.
building. It's just cluttered. It's like it feels like a first season of a series, not like a movie.
I'd watch it.
I would watch it.
If a
probably.
90s sci-fi, I'd watch
But
it.
the Centros
problems.
and the Eastern Alliance,
Yeah,
their whole thing was just to get this one
yeah.
Scorpion robot,
I guess because they could
or
make
take
more.
over the whole city.
Maybe both.
Oh,
Did they know there was a mega robot under there?
I think it's interesting though. We should mention you just watched
Anyway.
Oblivion, which is another full moon, but it's like where they did the kind of space western, the sci-fi western.
When did I watch this?
It was a Riff Tracks, I think.
When?
You don't remember?
I don't
that?
remember anything.
Oh, I was going to ask you how you thought compared to that because they're often like kind of thrown in together these movies,
Oh,
but
they're great.
never mind.
I don't remember, sweetheart.
We'll do it again sometime. It's not worth revisiting, but if you happen to, there's a whole series of movies called Oblivion.
I mean, the robots go to space. They're fighting the mega robot versus the new style robot. It's all very silly.
I feel like the Scorpion never
Fun.
had a chance.
No.
It's because the
You know
mega
what?
robot is just so
They just
much
don't make
bigger,
them like they used
and
to.
it's so much it's just so much bigger and it's easier to flip over. I don't know.
This new
You
robot,
think the Scorpion would be
scorpions are just made to be
more
buses.
vulnerable?
Yes.
Oh man, now I got to watch this movie again just to decide.
Do you?
Just the
Yeah.
look of it. It was like, as a war vehicle, I think
Yeah.
I would rather have a giant robot than a scorpion robot.
I feel like I'd always want a tank. 100%.
And there was a tank in this
Yeah.
movie.
And kind of the big robots are kind of like
I
tanks.
had to get more water for this conversation.
You know how big robots are.
I mean, they win. Drake and Barbara Crampton, they make out. End of story.
And I love the action when they're in the cockpit. It's just like,
Then nobody agreed.
it's like pretend to shake.
Nobody is shaking in the same manner.
Everyone did a different
intensity,
Everybody's
version.
shaking
direction.
at different intensities.
I think that's adorable, and I know that. Is that just a case you think they're just having fun? They're like, okay, now
Yeah.
you got turbulence, like, and they didn't. There's no coordination.
That's a case of, all right, we got like time. Okay, we
No
got 10
time.
minutes. Hurry up. We'll just get one
Yeah.
take. And they didn't like.
Well,
they were
re-
just
the
going
only
too
re-
fast.
The only reason I bring that up is because when we were at the Reanimator panel, and they were talking about, and I guess this probably didn't happen on this movie, but she was saying all the rehearsals that went into Reanimator.
I don't feel like this
This
movie did
this
not.
did not have that.
No.
The benefit of that, but it was not bad.
No, it was
For
cute.
what it was.
I love stop motion in
Yeah.
movies. And like I said, you don't do stop motion without care.
We're-
And putting effort into
This is
into
true.
a movie like that.
Takes a lot.
Yeah.
And I think he kind of reuses, like, I kind of want to watch Robot Jocks again. I saw it when it was new, but I was never remembered.
Well, watch it. You get a full picture of this world we're building.
Maybe you want to see more of this world, Amy? Watch Robot
I
Jocks.
need to know more
sometime.
about the toxic gas scare. You know what's interesting? You think about the kids nowadays are very. The 90s is in fashion.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you want to be really cool and very like, you're truly an individual. Ooh, that's hard to say sometimes. Anybody else? Nobody?
It's hard to be one.
Right.
Sometimes it's hard. When all your friends are smoking and you're saying no.
But you will truly be different from everybody else if you do the way that decade thought the future would be. So
Holy shit, this is too deep.
So, like, if you're like, I want to be a 90s kid too, but I want to be different, I'm going to dress like what the 90s thought the future would be.
So you want to be like Marty at Cafe 80s if Cafe 80s existed in the 50s.
But they still have the old fashioned. In this timeline, they still have old fashioned haircuts.
And Mary Goldie Wilson.
Barbara Crampton, that haircut is not flattering, even though she's a gorgeous woman.
No,
Yeah.
that's a very early 90s haircut.
Yes, the mom bob with the bangs.
The bangs of the mom
She
bob.
always pulled that particular hairstyle. She's one of the few people that pulled that one off.
But that's one thing that kind of always bugged me. Like, they had all these future clothes, but they still have the same haircuts. Haircuts haven't evolved.
Yeah.
Please, there's like a sign up that says, warning, no flash photography. I'm like, it's 2041.
They don't use flashes in the 2041.
We hardly use them now. Unless you're doing like...
What if they... I love the tiny things they get wrong in sci-fi movies, and we should do a whole month sometime if we can ever figure this out, where you could have the little things they got wrong are big parts of the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'll let you define that.
Little anachronisms. Like when somebody's still using a landline in a movie that takes place 100 years from now is an example.
Yes.
But things that feature throughout, just shit where they just miss the mark.
There's not nearly as many buttons as the future thought. I mean, the future that past thought.
And we're right, but who would have thought Minority Report with him swiping around free floating windows was probably the closest thing to what it was going to be like to make a phone call once those fucking glasses are mainstream. Ugh.
So, Robot Wars. How do we feel?
It was cute.
It was cute. Like
I
we
mean,
said.
granted, MS3TK helped a lot, but for what it was, I feel it was a very cute movie.
Yes. And I giggled my booty off.
Yeah, and it had
as
a
an
lot of
STD
Lisa Rinna in it.
voice. It really did.
Of the 3 movies so far,
Well,
did this one have the most housewives?
no.
Or were Sorority Row? You think
Sorority
had more?
Row did.
Yeah, she was like a co-lead.
She was like a
Yeah.
The Eileen Davidson.
What have we done so far?
Money Plane, House
Money
of
Plane,
Sorority
that's
Row,
right.
and Robot Wars.
Money Plane barely had any housewife in it.
I know.
It was like when you get a Hot Pocket and it's empty. There's one pepperoni in there. It's just a cavern.
You bite
of
into it,
pepperoni.
and then about steam comes out.
That happened to someone we
I know.
knew.
A
Remember that, Andy?
cavern.
And he's like, I know. Because
it comes up all the time.
It was like the thing where it felt like the Book of Job for our generation, where every bad thing happened to poor Brian, and then he went to microwave his Hot Pocket, and it was empty too. That's the most existential. You feel like at that point that like Jim Gaffigan's going to show up dressed up as the Grim Reaper and take you away.
Oh wow!
I'll go with him.
I would too.
I'll gladly welcome death. If
he would be a great.
If he came to collect my soul.
You know what? You're right. He's such a
who
personable and approachable person.
Would be the most ideal death.
Who?
Dolly Parton. Think about it.
Come on, y'all.
Her voice,
too much.
her demeanor.
I wouldn't be able to trust it.
Because
you're going to eat my soul.
She do that soft whisper, like you're dying.
Yeah.
Come on.
She's like, don't fight it. Here, let me just jostle your brainstem loose here and suck off the marrow. Don't listen to that part of what I'm saying, honey.
What in the H do you think death eats us?
Well, it's very Jacob's
Sucks
Ladder
our
in there
marrow
right now.
out? Oh, okay.
My imagination is always just teetering. Like I could do
You
a
are
Jim,
teetering.
a Jim Gaffigan as the Danny Aiello chiropractor kind of fill in Jacob's Ladder.
Yeah.
I talk about this movie like
It's been a
everybody
really
is
long
really
time.
on top, but I forget sometimes that everybody's not like super into that movie. But there's scenes with his chiropractor who represents an easy death, and then everything else is a hard death. And I really love that idea. And Jim Gaffigan would be my easy death.
And I want Dolly.
Or Dolly's my slightly suspect because Dolly is
Is
more
she a little too sweet?
Yeah. There's something off. There's something too much. In real life, I love Dolly, but as a stand-in for the figure of death,
All right.
I feel like they'd be using Dolly's image to convince me of something so they could eat my marrow. If that makes sense.
Sure. Because you got the tastiest marrow.
They're always after me marrow. Death and its goblins.
Good Lord. All right. Well, that's the end of that.
Is your favorite actress Meryl Streep?
Meryl Streep. Only Murders in the Building. She's so good. She's good in everything she does.
I'm so excited about the next season.
The boat movie that I can't remember the name of, also big recommend if you haven't watched it, with Meryl Streep and the mom from Lost Boys. If you Google those things, you'll probably find it. The boat movie that has Meryl Streep and the mom from Lost Boys. Mwah. So good. She's a writer.
All right. That's enough.
And they're going
We're not
on a
talking
boat.
about
It was
this.
filmed during the pandemic. That's
We're not
interesting.
talking about
They really stayed on a boat.
fucking. That's okay. I don't
Yeah.
mind. The end of every show, we say hi to our Beelzebubs. Patreon.com/NOTLP. If that's something you're interested in becoming,
We appreciate it. We really
we
does mean a lot.
appreciate it
Keeps
very, very much.
Keeps the literal lights on around here.
Keeps the lights in our hearts and the sparks in our eyes, the champagne in our freezer.
There's
There's no
the
champagne
undertones
in
in
our
our
freezer.
dog farts.
Phew, so earthy. So all of these people are responsible for the earthiness of my dog's farts. Matt, Branan and Emily, Jeffel, Iona Goodwin,
Oh, a great one.
Dr. Brian,
If you come down, let me fix your furnace. I'll show you how.
Old Dirty Billsterd, Bill Fahrner, Blayne Yogurt, Jordache Jeans, Monica, Jeremy, Cassie, Gamora, Ernie, and Dave.
Thank you, guys. By the way, did you know Levi, you saying Jordache jeans reminded me that they said Levi's are experiencing a big bump because of Beyonce's song about Levi's.
Oh, yeah?
I just bought some Levi's.
Andy, what were your
Right
thoughts of
before you
Cowboy
saw
Carter?
I've only listened to it once, but I like it well enough. I need probably another listen, but I'm a Beyonce apologist, so she can't do no wrong in my eyes.
Yeah.
The
She's
woman
Beyonce reproach.
is a fucking artistic genius. Don't get me wrong. There was a few spots in this one where I was like,
It's a little
girl,
cheap.
I'm not sure.
Like I will say, she kind of gets a little what's that word? Where you do too much.
Oh, well, yeah. I agree.
Girl, you're doing too
When
much.
she starts saying Carmio
It's just too long.
Bane. I can't even pronounce it right now.
Indulgent. That's the
Bane.
word I'm looking for.
It is
Yeah.
indulgent.
Like a lot of times she gets indulgent, and this is a very indulgent album.
Yeah. But there's moments that are so great that you
Yes.
kind of forget. But most of the lyrics are real stupid.
Well, I've had 16 carriages stuck in my head. thought that was nice.
It's like Yaya's a banger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the best. Yeah.
So there you go. That is some middle-aged, middle Westerners take on Cowboy Carter, which the world needed.
Yeah.
Okay? And you're welcome.
I guess we'll find out.
Anything else before we go? Do you boys have anything else to say?
I think it's a fad. I think that Beyonce will quickly move away from country and go straight sci-fi next.
Like, what do you mean?
60s sci-fi. I think that'd be awesome.
Angular costumes.
Like do costumes, but do like 60s sci-fi era vibe.
I love it.
Vibe on it, but still her.
Ooh, have that like little like what is that like the
like
little
Barbarella or something?
putting
The sound of a Jetsons car.
Jetsons cars. Barbarella. Do a Barbarella.
Barbarellas. Yep.
Do a Barbarella.
All right, bye.
All right, bye.
Shows in a severed